How to Talk to Anyone by Leil Lowndes. There are, in this life, two kinds of people. The first kind walks into a room, and their entire presence screams, "Well, here I am." They carry themselves with an air of expectation, as if the party couldn't possibly start without them. Then there's the second kind. They walk into that same room, but everything about them is different. Their eyes light up with genuine curiosity as they scan the crowd. Their presence whispers, "Ah, there you are." Here's what I've noticed after years of watching people. The ones who seem to have it all, the dream jobs, the closest friendships, the most meaningful relationships, almost always fall into that second category. They possess this magnetic quality that draws people in, makes them feel truly seen, and opens doors that stay locked for everyone else. Now, what if I told you this magnetism isn't some mysterious gift you're born with? What if it's actually a collection of skills, 92 of them to be precise, that anyone can master? That's exactly what Leil Lowndes promises in her remarkable book, How to Talk to Anyone, 92 Little Tricks for Big Success in Relationships. Published in 2003, this book has quietly become a game-changer for millions of people who want to navigate human connection with more grace, confidence, and genuine success. Leil Lowndes isn't just some ivory tower theorist. She's a real-world student of human behavior who's coached Fortune 500 CEOs, spoken to audiences worldwide, and has this incredible gift for breaking down the complex art of communication into simple, practical techniques. Today we're diving deep into her world. We're not just skimming the surface, we're uncovering the stories and psychology behind these ideas. By the time we're done, you'll have a complete roadmap to becoming one of those rare people who can walk into any room and make others feel special just by being there. You'll understand the silent language that builds trust before you ever open your mouth, and you'll have concrete tools to transform any conversation into a genuine connection. This isn't just about talking better, it's about becoming someone others naturally trust, enjoy, and remember long after you've left the room. Let's start with a fascinating story. Meet Bob Grossman, a brilliant caricature artist whose drawings have graced some of the world's most famous magazines. He has this unique talent for capturing not just someone's face, but the very essence of who they are, in just a few quick strokes. When Lowndes asked him his secret, his answer was beautifully simple: "I just look at them." He explained that almost everything you need to know about a person, their confidence, kindness, even their anxieties, is written all over their body. It's in their posture, how they hold their head, the sparkle or shadow in their eyes. He could see Bill Clinton's boyish charm in his half-smile, Franklin D. Roosevelt's pride in the angle of his chin, Richard Nixon's unease in the slight tilt of his head. It was all there, a complete autobiography written in movement. Here's the first profound lesson. Long before you speak a single word, you've already made your first impression. In fact, over 80% of how someone initially feels about you has absolutely nothing to do with what you say. It's all about how you look and how you move. Your body is broadcasting a message every single second, and the question is, what story is it telling? Lowndes argues that to be seen as someone special, you must first master this silent language. It starts with something we all do automatically: your smile. Most of us flash an instant, polite grin when we meet someone. It's reflexive, almost mechanical. But this kind of smile carries very little weight. It's generic, the same smile you'd give to literally anyone. Instead, she teaches something called the flooding smile. It's a small adjustment that makes all the difference. When you first meet someone, pause for just a beat. Look at their face. Really take them in. Then let a big, warm, genuine smile flood across your face and light up your eyes. That split-second delay makes all the difference. The other person feels that your smile is real and that it's specifically for them. It's not a public smile, it's a personal one. Interestingly, one study found that women in business who were slower to smile were actually perceived as more credible. A warm smile is powerful, but only when it feels earned. Now let's move up a few inches to your eyes. We've all heard, make good eye contact. But what does that actually mean? Lowndes offers a technique called sticky eyes. Imagine your eyes are connected to theirs with warm, sticky taffy. Even after they finish speaking, don't break contact immediately. When you do need to look away, do it slowly, reluctantly, as if you're stretching that taffy until it finally snaps. This creates an incredible feeling of connection and respect. It shows you're completely captivated by them and what they're saying. Studies have shown that this kind of intense eye contact actually increases the listener's heartbeat and releases a chemical in the brain similar to what we experience when falling in love. It makes people perceive you as intelligent and insightful because you're not distracted. You're fully present with them. For those moments when you want to make an even stronger impact, especially in groups, there's an advanced move called epoxy eyes. When someone else is speaking, keep your gaze fixed on your target, the person you want to connect with. This is bold. Your target will quietly wonder, why are they looking at me instead of the speaker? They'll feel you're deeply interested in their reactions. In a romantic context, it sends an unmistakable message. I can't take my eyes off you. But all the smiling and eye contact in the world won't help if your overall presence doesn't radiate confidence. And the biggest indicator of your confidence, she says, is your posture. Millions of parents have told their kids to stand up straight, but it rarely sticks. So Lowndes gives us a powerful visualization called hang by your teeth. Picture this. Every time you walk through a doorway, there's a circus performer's iron jaw bit hanging from the top of the frame. As you pass through, you mentally bite it, and it swoops you up to the top of the big tent. Feel every muscle in your body stretch into perfect alignment. Head high, shoulders back, torso lifted, like you're a world-class acrobat. Do this every time you walk through a door, at home, at work, at parties, and good posture becomes automatic. You'll start moving with the confidence of someone who's used to being on top. So now you've made a powerful entrance without saying a word. You've got the flooding smile, sticky eyes, and winner's posture. But this is only half the equation. True charisma isn't about making yourself look good. It's about making other people feel good. Everyone you meet is silently asking, well, how do you like me so far? They're watching for signals that you see them, that you recognize something special in them. Deep down, we all have an inner child desperately waiting for approval. Lowndes tells this wonderful story about her friend Carla at a party. Carla was recently divorced, unemployed, and feeling insecure. Several attractive, successful men would smile at her from across the room, and Carla would give a quick, polite smile back before looking away, trying not to seem too eager. And of course, none of them approached her. Then the hostess's 5-year-old son, Willie, came up and tugged on her skirt. Carla's reaction was instant and transformative. A huge, genuine smile erupted across her face. She turned her entire body toward him, knelt down, and gave him her complete, undivided attention. Little Willie absolutely beamed. Lowndes pointed this out to her. Carla, she said, the next time a man smiles at you, give him the same welcome you just gave Willie. Sure enough, minutes later, another man smiled. This time, Carla turned her whole body toward him, flashed that beautiful warm smile, and said, "Hello, come join us." He did, and they were inseparable for the rest of the night. This is the essence of the big baby pivot. When you meet someone new, give them the same total body turn and undivided attention you'd give a precious child. It silently broadcasts, "I think you are very, very special." To amplify this even more, you can use a mental trick called "Hello, old friend." When meeting someone for the first time, imagine they're a dear friend you lost touch with years ago. You've been trying to find them forever, and now, miraculously, here they are. You don't say this out loud, obviously. You just feel it. That secret delight will trigger a remarkable chain reaction in your body. Your eyebrows will soften, your posture will open up, and genuine warmth will radiate from you, making the other person feel instantly comfortable and valued. Now that you've laid the nonverbal foundation, it's time to actually speak. The biggest fear for many of us is that awkward silence after, "Hi." What on earth do you say next? First, Lowndes says you must make a mood match. Before opening your mouth, take a voice sample of the other person. Are they upbeat and energetic, or calm and subdued? Your first words should match their energy level, at least initially. If you're feeling sluggish and someone barrels toward you with crazy enthusiasm, it feels jarring. Similarly, if you're excited and someone responds with a monotone voice, it kills your mood. Like a musician tuning an instrument, you need to find their note before you can make beautiful music together. And what should you actually say? This is where many people freeze, thinking they need some brilliant opening line. Lowndes' advice is surprisingly liberating. Be prosaic with passion. In other words, say almost anything, as long as you say it with genuine warmth and interest. Remember, 80% of your listener's impression isn't about your words anyway. It's about your tone and positive energy. So don't fear the mundane. Great party, isn't it? Or I love the music they're playing. Delivered with authentic enthusiasm beats a clever line delivered with anxiety every single time. The two questions you're guaranteed to hear are, "Where are you from?" and "What do you do?" Most people give boring, one-word answers that absolutely murder the conversation. Lowndes says you should never give a naked answer. When someone asks where you're from, don't just say Columbus, Ohio. That's what she calls never the naked city. Prepare a few interesting tidbits about your hometown that give your conversation partner something to grab onto. "I'm from Columbus, Ohio." It's fascinating, they call it, the most American city in America, because so many companies test new products there. If it sells in Columbus, it'll sell anywhere. See? Instead of a dead end, you've opened multiple doors for follow-up questions. The same principle applies to your job, never the naked job. Don't just say, "I'm a financial planner." Instead, frame it in terms of the benefit you provide. I help people plan their financial futures so they can achieve their dreams. This is your nutshell resume, and you should have several versions tailored to different audiences. To a young mother, an employment lawyer might say, "I'm working on a case right now helping a woman who was unfairly let go after her maternity leave." To a business owner, that same lawyer might say, "I help companies navigate the tricky laws around hiring to avoid potential lawsuits." You're not just stating your job, you're telling a story that connects with their world. As the conversation continues, how do you keep it from dying? You become a word detective. Lowndes calls this "be a word detective." Listen closely to every word your partner says, especially words that seem slightly unusual or are said with extra emphasis. These are clues to their real passions. If someone says, "It was a terrible storm last week, but it was good for the plants," Don't just agree about the storm. The word plants is your clue. Ask them if they have a garden. You might just unlock a topic they could happily discuss for hours. If you're ever truly stuck, there's a simple, foolproof technique called parroting. Just repeat the last 2 or 3 words your conversation partner said, but turn it into a question. If they say, "I just got back from a really bizarre show," you simply say, "A bizarre show?" This prompts them to elaborate, buys you time to think, and makes you seem engaged and attentive. One of the most powerful principles in the book is that everyone wants to be the star of their own movie. A top salesperson once told me that every sales pitch should be guided by a giant, swiveling spotlight. When you're talking, the spotlight is on you. When the prospect is talking, it's on them. The secret to success? Keep that spotlight on the other person as much as possible. This is what Lowndes calls the swiveling spotlight. Ask questions. Be genuinely curious about their life, work, and passions. The more you let them talk, the more fascinating they'll find you. Now, let's explore the mindset of truly elite communicators, the professionals, or as Lowndes calls them, the big cats. Big cats in the corporate or social jungle operate differently. For one thing, they almost never ask, "What do you do?" It's too blunt, too transactional. It reduces a person to their job title. Instead, a big cat will ask, "How do you spend most of your time?" This is subtle, but profound. It's a more gracious question that allows the other person to talk about their job, hobbies, family, or whatever matters most to them. It shows you're interested in them as a complete person, not just as a potential business contact. Another hallmark of sophisticated communicators is a rich vocabulary. But you don't need to memorize the dictionary. Lowndes reveals that the difference between an average vocabulary and a brilliant one is often just about 50 words. She suggests creating your personal thesaurus. Take a few common words you overuse, like nice, good, or pretty, and find more elegant synonyms that feel comfortable to you. Instead of telling your host they threw a nice party, say it was splendid or magnificent. Instead of telling someone they look great, say they look stunning or radiant. These small upgrades elevate your conversation and make your compliments far more memorable. When you discover you have something in common with someone, our natural instinct is to jump in excitedly with, "Me too." But big cats know there's a more powerful approach. They kill the quick, "Me too." They wait. They let the other person fully enjoy their story about their passion for skiing or their recent trip to Italy. Then, after letting them have the stage, they casually reveal the shared interest. The delay gives the revelation much more impact and makes you seem confident and secure, not someone desperately seeking connection. One of the most powerful 3-letter words in English isn't sex, it's you. Lowndes calls this principle communication. Whenever possible, start your sentences with you. Instead of saying, "I think this is a great idea," say, "You'll see the benefits of this idea immediately." Instead of asking your boss, "Can I take Friday off?" ask, "Can you manage without me on Friday?" This pushes their pride button and frames the request in their terms, making them far more likely to say yes. It immediately grabs your listener's attention because, instinctively, we all process information through the filter of, "What's in it for me?" Big cats also avoid common traps that make people seem small. They never touch a cliché. They call a spade, using direct, honest words instead of hiding behind euphemisms. And they never, ever tease. Trash the teasing. A cheap laugh at someone else's expense, no matter how innocent it seems, marks you as immature and can silently close doors you never knew were open. To truly connect with people, you need to enter their world. This means learning to speak their language, or what Lowndes amusingly calls gobbledygook. If you're going to a party full of doctors, call a doctor friend beforehand and ask, "What are the hot issues in your field right now?" What opening questions do you ask each other? Every profession has them. For writers, it's, "Do you write fiction or nonfiction?" For doctors, it's, "What's your specialty?" Just knowing a few insider questions makes people feel you're one of them. You don't have to be an expert. You just need to show knowledgeable curiosity. A powerful way to bring your points to life is through potent imaging. Use analogies and metaphors from your listener's world, not your own. If you're talking to a golfer, don't say your idea is on target. Say it hits the sweet spot. If you're talking to a gardener, talk about sowing the seeds of success. This not only makes your point more vivid, it subconsciously tells them, "We think alike, we share the same world." To build that feeling of "we're just alike," you can use the word "we" prematurely. Lowndes calls this the premature we. When you're at a party, standing in the buffet line with a stranger, you might say, "Wow, they really laid out a nice spread for us," or "I guess we're going to have to hit the gym after this." The word "we" is a powerful little tool that creates an instant feeling of shared experience and camaraderie. Perhaps the most delicate art in communication is the compliment. A clumsy or insincere compliment can do more harm than good, making you seem like you're just sucking up. Lowndes dedicates significant attention to the nuances of praise, offering a complete toolbox of techniques that feel both genuine and powerful. The safest and often most effective way to praise someone is behind their back. Grapevine glory is when you tell a mutual friend something wonderful about a person, knowing it will get back to them. A compliment someone overhears is always more credible than one delivered to their face. You can also become a carrier pigeon of good news. When you hear someone say something nice about someone else, make it your mission to deliver that praise. "Sam, I was talking to Carl the other day, and he was absolutely raving about the job you did on that report. Everyone loves the messenger of good news, and you get credit for being positive and supportive." For a direct compliment that truly lands, it needs to be specific and personal. She calls this the killer compliment. It's not, "You're nice." It's, "You have this wonderful sense of calm that puts everyone at ease." It's not, "I like your dress." It's, "You have exquisite taste." A killer compliment should be delivered privately and only occasionally to preserve its power. For people you know well, there are itty-bitty boosters, small, frequent expressions of appreciation like, "Great job," or "Well done." And for those critical moments right after someone accomplishes something, whether giving a speech or cooking a great meal, you must use the knee-jerk, "Wow." Praise must be immediate. The euphoria of the moment makes people hungry for instant validation. Don't wait. But the most profound compliment of all speaks to a person's deepest sense of self. To discover this, Lowndes suggests playing the tombstone game. At a quiet moment, ask a friend or loved one, "If you could have anything written on your tombstone, what would you want it to say?" Their answer reveals the quality they're most proud of. It might be, "He was a man of his word," or "She spread joy wherever she went." File that information away. Weeks later, when the moment is right, feed that exact phrase back to them in a compliment. "You know, the reason I respect you so much is that you're a man of your word." In that moment, you're telling them, "I see you for who you truly are." It's a compliment that can take their breath away. The final frontier of communication mastery involves navigating the trickiest situations, the ones that can make or break relationships, governed by unspoken rules. Lowndes calls this, quote, "breaking the most treacherous glass ceiling of all." The first rule: see no bloopers, hear no bloopers. When someone makes a small mistake, spills a drink, stumbles on a word, sneezes, pretend it didn't happen. Drawing attention to it, even with a well-meaning Gesundheit or knowing smile, only highlights their minor failure. Sophisticated people give others the pleasure of pretending they're above such common human mishaps. On the flip side, if someone is telling a story and gets interrupted, be the one who brings the conversation back to them. Lend a helping tongue. After the interruption passes, turn to them and say, "Now, what were you saying about?" You rescue them from the awkwardness of having to reclaim the spotlight, and they'll be grateful for your sensitivity. When it comes to favors, the dance is delicate. First, when asking, always bear the buried WIIFM and WIIFY, what's in it for me, and what's in it for you. Be upfront about your motives. Don't pretend you're just calling for a casual chat when you really want career advice. Honesty builds trust, and when someone agrees to do you a favor, let them savor the favor. Don't pounce immediately. Give them at least 24 hours to enjoy the warm glow of their own generosity before you follow up. There are also sacred safe havens where tough talk is forbidden. Parties are for prater, light, pleasant conversation only. Dinners for dining, no difficult business negotiations until after coffee, and chance encounters are for chit-chat. If you run into a client you've been trying to reach, don't ambush them with your pitch. A simple, friendly hello will do far more for your relationship in the long run. Finally, Lowndes introduces what may be the most important concept in the entire book, the great scorecard in the sky. In any interaction between two people, there's an invisible scorecard floating above their heads. It tracks who has more power, who owes whom a favor, who needs to show deference. When you're asking for a big opportunity from a powerful person, the score isn't even. They're on top. Your actions must reflect that. You don't ask them to handle trivial details. You show respect for their time. You make it easy for them. Ignoring this scorecard is the fastest way to get thrown out of the game entirely. In the end, all 92 of these techniques boil down to that one single shift in perspective we talked about at the beginning. It's the difference between walking into a room thinking, "Here I am," versus thinking, "Ah, there you are." It's about making your interactions not about you, but about them. And when you do that, something magical happens. People feel seen, they feel valued, they feel special, and they will never, ever forget the person who made them feel that way. As we wrap up our journey through how to talk to anyone, I want to leave you with one final thought. It's easy to look at these 92 tricks and see them as manipulation, just ways to get what you want from people. And if that's how you approach them, that's all they'll ever be. But you'd be missing the entire point. The real brilliance of Leil Lowndes' work isn't in the techniques themselves. It's in the philosophy underneath them. Every single one of these tricks is, at its heart, an exercise in empathy. It's a method for stepping outside your own head and into someone else's world. It's about truly paying attention. Think about the flooding smile. It works because you're taking a moment to actually see the person in front of you before reacting automatically. Think about be a word detective. It works because you're listening with such intensity that you pick up on subtle clues to their passions. Think about the tombstone game. It works because you're taking time to understand what gives another person's life meaning. This book isn't a manual for becoming a slick, manipulative operator. It's a training guide for becoming a more observant, thoughtful, and generous human being. It reminds us that communication isn't a competitive sport. It's a collaborative dance. The goal isn't to win, but to connect. In a world that feels increasingly noisy, distracted, and self-absorbed, the ability to make another person feel truly seen and heard is more than just a skill. It's a genuine gift. It's the rarest and most valuable currency we have. And what Lowndes shows us with beautiful simplicity is that giving this gift doesn't require special talent or a magnetic personality. It just requires practice. So here's my challenge to you. Don't try to memorize all 92 tricks. Just pick one. Maybe tomorrow you'll work only on the flooding smile. Or maybe for a week you'll try to kill the quick "me too" in your conversations. Start small. Notice the reactions you get. See how it feels to shift your focus from "how am I doing?" to "how are they doing?" These small moves, practiced over time, become habits. And as the book wisely reminds us, your habits create your character, and your character shapes your destiny. The destiny this book offers is one of deeper connections, richer relationships, and a quiet confidence that comes from knowing you can navigate any social situation with grace and warmth. It's the destiny of becoming someone who walks into a room and makes everyone else feel glad they're there. That was a summary of How to Talk to Anyone by Leil Lowndes. I'll be honest with you, a summary can only ever be a map. The real treasure is found when you walk the path yourself. The true value of this book isn't in knowing the 92 tricks, but in experiencing the small shifts in your own perspective as you practice them. This summary is meant to be a signpost, helping you decide if this is a journey worth taking. If anything we've discussed today has sparked your curiosity or made you think, "I want to be that kind of person," then I encourage you to pick up a copy. Reading it isn't just about learning. It's about transforming the way you connect with the world, one conversation at a time. You can find a link to the book in the description below. Also, if you found this journey valuable, clicking the like button and subscribing to this channel would mean the world to me. It helps us continue bringing these life-changing ideas to more people. Let's keep learning and growing together. I'll see you in the next summary.